4-1 on Interbet with this one. It was traded at 33-10 and 3-1 with the bookmaker 4-1 about this filly. She looked like a blinder, didn't she?
Yeah, well, James, your podcast, you've been on the button. You went for this. You had Jamal as your best each way. You had another one winner, and you're as hot as the owner of this at the moment.
The filly that won the first was the best each way yesterday. The best bet yesterday. She was short. She was 7-10. I don't like clipping them if they're shorter than even money, but I thought you could probably burgle even money.
Yeah,
I trained the sister.
Oh, okay.
You know,
but Tiger Hunt this filly.
Wendy Whitehead's filly.
That's right. Very good. Just looking at the race there, James, I see a lot of winners now going for Bernard Cantor. You know, Rocco's Luck, and all over the country. He's having a wonderful run at the moment as Bernard. And
good for Bernard.
Good for Bernard. He's a big player.
He's going to have to come and retire in South Africa.
Oh yeah, he doesn't need to retire. He's got a job to do. He's got sporting events to sponsor. Yeah.
Anyway, well done to them, and it was certainly they're not punters. Bernard, I don't think was looking to get on, but certainly worth having a bet on this one with Interbet at 4-1, and Gary Pierre, he's running the show there at the moment. Johnny's away. Johnny's on his usual cruise at the moment.
Oh, is that right? Well done to him. They've got a good business, and they put their money back into the game. Well done to the Interbet gang.
Right, we're going to move on and have a look at current affairs.
Welcome back for current affairs. Around the country, no graded racing for us. There was a listed race which Michael de Kock snapped up at Scottsville yesterday, but no listed, no stakes races, as I said. But we've got a wonderful build-up to this week's Group 1s coming at Greyville, and then on to the Masters Golf the day afterwards, and really looks good. But we did have a very interesting race over in Ireland, and it was the Darley Irish Oaks. It's for the fillies. It's a Group 1 race. And we had English, French, and Irish contenders, and we're going to have a look at that race. But James, very interesting racing that still going on in the UK, because they're building up, I think, to the King George.
Absolutely. Not only that, well, we're hoping to chat to Mike de Kock this week and find out what's going on with Shay Shay. But apparently, he's going to go for the Nunthorpe and then the Prix de l'Abbé.
Got to go to the Prix de l'Abbé. The Prix de l'Abbé, for those of you who don't know, is a 5-furlong race that we've had National Colour go for. That was the day of the false start, and they ran the race again. That great stallion VAR, I think, won the Prix de l'Abbé. Shay Shay go for that. That's on Arc Day. So some interesting racing coming up for Shay Shay, James.
Yeah. Let's go and have a look at this, the Darley Irish Oaks. It's a Group 1. And the O'Brien's got beaten at last.
It looked a hell of a finish. The winner drifts, but let's go and have a look. We'll talk about it afterwards. Here's the Darley Irish Oaks for the fillies, the Group 1.
By Talent and Jim Crowley and Magical Dream Michael Hussey. So they're on the climb now, up to the top of the track and shortly making the descent for the home turn in the Darley Irish Oaks, and just pretending with Riposte moving up on the outside. 2 lengths to Chiquita Shinchilala, being followed then by Venus de Milo with Talent and Magical Dream. Racing downhill now for the approach to the straight, just pretending and Riposte alongside. They match strides just over a length in front of Chiquita. Shintalala is fourth. Then Talent on the outside of Venus de Milo and Magical Dream as they begin now to approach the turn for home. Just pretending and Riposte, followed by Chiquita Shintalala. Talent pushed along on the outside of Venus de Milo, and they're being followed by Magical Dream. They're tightly grouped. They run to the 2, and it's just pretending, pressed on the near side by Riposte. In third place, chasing them is Chiquita and then Shintalala. They're racing down to the final furlong now. It's neck and neck, just pretending. Joseph O'Brien on the near side, Riposte and Tom Queally. They're being followed by Chiquita on the near side, Johnny Martha, Venus de Milo, Shintalala. They're all closing. They're racing up towards the line, just pretending, and Chiquita on the near side. Chiquita drifted to the near side, but is very much involved. A very close finish to the...
What a great finish. Superb fillies hurtling up the track. And as James said earlier, the O'Brien team beaten into second and third. But Roya Dupre, the trainer of this horse, and Johnny Murta, superb win.
Yeah, she got beaten in the French Oaks, the Prix d'Ayam, because she runs all over the place. As you saw, she drifted out in the straight as well here. And just talking about drifting out, we showed last week Sky Lantern.
Yes, what's happened there?
They had an inquiry. They objected to the BHA, the British Horse Authority, and Horse Racing Authority, and the objection was overruled. Okay, so in fact,
Results
the results stood as it was, and they said that they never felt that. I've actually had quite interesting feedback from showing that last week, and that's what it's all about. You know,
It's opinions.
You put something out in the open and let people talk
James,
about it.
I've got no doubt if that race was run in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, places like that, the result would have been
Well, in
changed.
France,
Definitely.
it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have taken 7 minutes.
No,
it would have taken 7 seconds.
Just getting back to this Oaks here, people talk about merit rating and that. Chiquita winning this race was breaking her maiden. Bear that in mind. First win of her life, Group 1 Irish Oaks. As James has said, she had placed by that superb stallion, Montjeu. Montjeu and Galileo certainly dominated, James, when it comes to these big classics overseas.
Absolutely, and it shows you breeding counts. This filly's out of a Dancilli mare.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Dancilli later on, a Dancilli factor here. But
Yes.
really a very, very impressive win.
Yeah, that's right. So just before we go on to discussing our features this week, I had a long chat to Bill Lambert yesterday, James. Bill Lambert, as you know, is our man from Gold Circle, who's a wonderful guy for the game. He went up to the Dundee July. It's run up there on the weekend. A lot of our team here from the studio went up to film it. The chairman went up. And James, 20,000 people out to watch these races. The race cards, and everything done. Really, it's massive, they say.
It's absolutely fantastic, and it's going to be a thrill for everyone to watch it next week. We're going to have it in your call. We're going to show the clip from the Dundee July. And I just think it's amazing. I love this type of thing, because this is what horse racing is all about. All over the world, you have flapping tracks in Ireland,
Yes.
you have point-to-points
Galway,
in England.
on the beach.
And people race horses as a sport.
Yeah.
And I know it's a big business here and whatever, but there's no sport left. So the Dundee July got to be a thing well worth watching.
Bill was saying to me that they had entertainment, they had ponies doing tricks, the crowds were there in their throngs, there was food, an abundance of food, and it really, really was a great day. And as I say, the team went up, and they got some footage which we'll show in your call next week.
Well,
Very interesting.
Bill
Gold Circle sponsors that whole day, James.
Well, what Bill told me, and I think it's fantastic, Gold Circle sponsors it, what Bill told me as well is no drink was served until after the main race was over and finished and done with. So, you know, then you have a party. But the main race, no drink served. So maybe we should take a break, and we'll be back after this race.
Welcome back. As you said, we're going to talk about the features coming up on the 27th. And the two features we're going to discuss are the Champions Cup and the Gold Cup. James, the two cups, Grade 1 race. We've both got our books here. It's a few days into the race. Both major stables are attacking to try and win it. And I believe it's about 100, 150 grand in it at the moment.
Well, it depends how these races go. And, you know, if we look at, shall we look at the Gold Cup first? It
Sure.
Comes up.
No, let's go the other one. Let's keep the Gold Cup to last, James, because it's such a major race. But the Champions Cup is also, well, this is the old Clearwood Winter, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was, when Gold Tax won, it was the Champions Cup as well.
That's right,
I think,
yeah.
You know. But it was run at Clearwood. It was always run at Clearwood.
Yes.
And between 1,800 and 2,000 metres, the distance has changed. It's 1,800 metres at Greyville. And mighty interesting, Jackson makes his appearance over a bit of ground.
Yeah, he's running the big sprint the other day was outstanding. There's a spread of 8 kilos from the bottom weight to top weight to give the other horses a chance. Jackson, Sean Cormack rides it for Brett. Big runner.
Can it beat Espumante at the bottom of the weight? There's the field, and Espimante's got 52 kilos, drawn 2. Big race rider Raymond Danielson gets the ride. He'll have to get himself out of the coma that he's normally in and see if he can produce it. But I think Espumante is by Dancilli. That's why I said let's talk about the Dancilli factor now. The Irish Oaks have just won by a horse out of a Dancilli mare. What must this filly Espumante be worth?
Yeah, James, she's got to be worth a lot, and well done to Mary at Wilgerbos, because she brings these well-bred horses out. She's had a Montjeu run in the Gold Cup. She brings Dancilli's out. She really has helped, and does help her stud, and it helps our industry. I think, James, now going in against the big boys, not taking on the girls, even though Beach Beauty is as good as anything over 1,800 metres. Beach Beauty is a superstar, the Dynasty filly. But I agree with your pulling the weights, making it a big runner.
Well, now, there are a few more interesting horses in the race. Patala Palace ran on Saturday with not much distinction. First run for about 250 days. He comes down to take his chances.
Yeah, Marquez is a very good trainer. He would have used this to tighten up a top horse. Also, there we go. He's a Singspiel, isn't he? So we're looking at great pedigrees again. And this horse is very, very good in his day. And he won his only Group 1 race at this track. So I wouldn't just brush him off because he got tired the other day in Joburg.
The July debate, Rock Cocktail gets his chance to run in Group 1 class against the best around. How do you think he'll fare?
Well,
do you think he can eggy a whole lot of faces?
Well, I think his form is very good, whether he's good enough to win. I've no doubt he's a very talented horse, and he could well win a race of this nature. I think he could be in the scrum, and as you say, there are a lot of people hoping he doesn't win, and conversely, there's a lot of people hoping he does, especially the owners, Michael and the whole gang. But he's definitely alive, one of a strong team from Michael de Kock. How about No Worries? James hasn't done much wrong.
No, absolutely. He is the 3-year-old representative and the top representative of the 3-year-olds, I would have thought. And on that, you've got to believe he's the best of them. An interesting jockey booking, Waishong Mawing gets the ride.
Fantastic.
Waishong comes out from Hong Kong to ride him here, which is fantastic as well. Robbie Frad rides Patala Palace.
Nice, just staying with No Worries for a moment. Nice for Brian Bernard.
Oh, yeah.
A new man who
fantastic.
stepped up to the plate, and he's getting some really nice runs. And as you say, this is a big one, James. Then, how about Bravura's bounce back the other day with a big weight? Is he back to where he wants to be?
Well, of draw 15, he's going to have to be, because he's not going to have it all his own way like he did in a little plate race the other day.
Sure.
Actually, was a merit rated in 99, I think. He
Yeah.
carried 64 kilos.
Wasn't he a runner-up in the Met once?
He certainly was.
He's a very
and in
good
fact,
horse.
this year, I fancied him strongly in the Met, but he dropped in at the back of the
That's
field,
right.
wouldn't race. You remember? And
Yeah.
I think he's much better suited to front-running tactics, and that's what's going to have to be the way with him.
Run for it. Striker Stratum, cracking run the other day in the Vodacom Durban July. He's a very good horse. He seems to have found that fire again, because he always seems to run with the money. A runner.
Yes, and Jet Explorer, the stable companion, also a runner. But Richard Fourie back from his travels, and
Yes.
he's apparently taken up a job as stable jockey to the Pretty Boys. So that should be very interesting.
That'll be very interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And he's riding this one. This is his first back.
Another horse who found vocal support but not get into the race was Ice Machine for the Meekers. Another one that can go out there and say, "Listen, let's prove our case here." Would you give it a chance?
No.
No.
I don't think he's good enough, and certainly to run 5.95 behind Le Havre, the Port Elizabeth challenger will beat him, because that ran ahead behind Le Havre. And I'm pleased that Yvette's bringing this horse up with Carice Teton on. Let's hope it runs a good race for them.
Absolutely. And now White Line Fever, there's the sentiment that he probably not that effective over 2-2. He runs a very good race every time he contests the Vodacom Durban July. And on that, we've got to give him a chance. Now it's 1,800 metres. He's a horse drawn one, fighting for the championship for his trainer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a huge runner in the race. It's a very, very interesting race indeed, and it will show how good the 3-year-olds are. Again, we'll have a chance in a Clearwood, which might not have the track bias that Greyville had. We might be able to see who's who in the zoo.
Silvano's Jet, that was another Silvano who won the Derby, didn't it?
Yeah.
He won the Derby.
Yeah.
Is he good enough?
I don't think so.
What do you think? 18 might be might
I
need
just,
the
I
extra
just
gun?
don't think he's good enough, Laf. You know, you're talking about proper Group 1 horses here, and I think
Sure.
that I'm hoping Jackson runs well for them. My tip would be Espumante. I think is a great each-way bet. It will be 7-8 to 1. I would have thought.
Not after your spiel, James.
White
They'll
Line
get
Field.
4-5
Well, there
to
you
1.
go. Yeah. The Interbet,
You struggled at that, I can see
Interbet
that.
podcast. Okay,
The
let's go and have a look at the Gold Cup and see what that looks like. 1.25 million rand for the Gold Cup. And last year, we just seen the race. They went out first and second. Princess of Light's not there, but Blake's back there. So Seal's back there.
Seal. There were a few that can. What interests me in this race, James, is that what pace are they going to go at? Because there are horses who patently might not get the trip. I was speaking to Kevin Shea the other day, and we were talking about this race, and he said the